Okay, so this is for the inspection of 442 Corvina Drive. Got here about 9 o'clock in the morning, and as you know, normally on these summary videos, what we try to do is cover all the major components of the house, and then we rely on the inspection report for all the items that were recorded during the inspection. For questions, you can call me at any time, but these are the highlights. Basically, first part of the inspection is looking at the building from a distance to make sure it's graded well, and this one is. And also to check out where problem areas might be, so I'll identify those areas, potential areas in the report. First place to talk about is the roof shingles. They're original, but they're not bad. At 13 years old, you probably have about 4 to 6 years, I would think, give or take on them before you have to start to think about replacement, unless something really unusual happens. And typically as shingles age, if they start to get brittle or buckle or anything like that, you could develop a leak in a certain situation. Usually they're repairable early on, but as those shingles get more brittle, that's why you talk about replacement a little while down the road, because sometimes they're not repairable. But right now, I think you're okay. It's a really interesting roof to navigate through. I wish Renee were here to take a video of that. You would have enjoyed that, watching me get up on this thing. I followed through going through the attic. There's 2 accesses, one in the garage, which the gentleman was really nice to take down the attic access ladder for. And I used that. That's really handy. And as you all know, there's plenty of room up there for storage, and you should know there's plenty of room up there for storage for your stuff too. I went into the 2nd story attic, and I went through there too, and there's a small attic above the master bathroom and bedroom that you access through the garage that I did get pretty far into, and I didn't find any evidence of any leaking or anything unusual. So I'll also recommend the wind mitigation report, only because there are things about the home that will qualify and you'll get a discount on their insurance. Okay. Structurally, it seems pretty sound, but as with most buildings, this one's painted and well maintained. That is a lot of credit to the owner. But with most buildings in Florida, you usually have a thin stucco coat, and I think that was true here. So just maintain the exterior walls really well. There's been a previous problem here with water penetration at the 2nd story windows. The owner replaced about 3 years ago with double pane windows to fix the problem, and the stains that were here are gone. And the water penetration seems to be minimal. Time to recaulk them though, because there are a couple of voids up there that I photographed that could allow for water to enter the wall with wind, which is pretty common. That falls under the scope of home maintenance. Right now there doesn't seem to be any issues with the past problem. Going forward, electrical. This is really good because one of the things I like about this house is they pre-wired you for a pool. Seems like you're staring at your neighbor's pool in the backyard, and it might be tempting to have one put in someday, so they have already wired it for you. So if that's in your plans, that's one less bill you'll have to encounter, because they have a pool breaker in the sub panel and they have a box outside on the back wall. You have 200 amp service, and these panels are Cutler Hammer's mid-range panel, comparable to Square D and Siemens and all these other smaller brand panels that bigger brand panels that the electricians put in that they get at cost. But this one, wiring looks good on the main parts of it, main panel, on the outside wall, like I said, 200 amp and sub panel in the garage. All the wiring is copper, and in the report, one of the things I'm going to recommend is an electrician, but for a bunch of minor things. Renee knows, I find a lot of problems because I search really hard for them. That's what I'm paid to do. I don't do it for any other reason. But now you'll know what they are. There'll be a list of about 8 of them in the report, and I'll go ahead and put them in there and itemize and describe them for you. Okay? Plumbing is exactly what you would expect to find in today's buildings. It's CPVC throughout as far as distribution. Very easy access. Water meter is at the front left corner. Main shutoff valve is at the left side of the garage. Water pressure was right at about 40 pounds per square inch, which is the minimum that you would want, but the flow in the home is fine. So there's a difference between gallons per minute flow and stuff like that. If the flow is good, the pressure is acceptable. All the bathrooms checked out really good, no issues. And the water heater is heating the water. What you have on that is a original 65-gallon water heater. So it's a little larger or above average size for the size home. Normally you would expect about a 50 or a 40 in some of these houses, which is the typical installation. And it is a Rudd, and Rudd tend to outlive a lot of other brands like Rudd and Rheem do. So same manufacturer, good water heater, so hopefully you get some more time out of it. On the air conditioning unit, you've got the downstairs unit, which is a 3.5-ton Carrier, the original from 2004. It's performing just fine, but I would budget for a replacement only because of the age. Statistically, they last about 15 years, give or take. The other unit for upstairs was replaced in 2016. It's a 1.5 ton unit. It is also cooling and heating just fine, and it's a Train, and Train is a good brand. So I didn't have any issues as far as performance on the air conditioned systems. Ductwork is original, but that's okay because the original ductwork was installed with the additional intakes already, so everything seems to be as it should be. Moving forward to interior areas and windows and doors, I didn't have any really major defects. I'm going to say overall, what you're looking at is a house that's move-in ready. I would budget for water heater replacement, air conditioner replacement, just to set aside a budget for that, but they're working right now. And just keep doing what the current owner is doing as far as maintenance, okay? Because that will be very important to prevent water penetration.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome. Thank you.